saw us last year when we played, and now we haven't seen each other since then. So we just connected just now at the door. So this is great occasion. I've come back for 2 senior games, sort of snuck in the back door and watched some of the great seniors we had play their last games. But other than that, we are so honored that the schools recognize us today, and to be able to be part of this. And I didn't want it to be part of it where we have such a tragedy happen up in Michigan State.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great time for the 2 schools to come together and really see what's really important. And so, but this team is thrilled. We had dinner with a lot of them last night, and a lot of memories.
A lot of memories. Like Coach said, it's great to be back. Anytime I get a chance to come back, it brings back all of the memories. And just the 2 years that I was here, it was so much that I remember, but it happened so fast. So just being able to be recognized with such a legendary run that we had, it's not just about me, Coach Beilein, it's not just about Tim. It's about a group of guys that really believe. And you guys remember, at the end of the season, we were on a decline, kind of, and we found a way to, make the run that we have. So to be able to be acknowledged and recognized for something great like that, I love it. I'm glad to be back.
Anybody want to start us off with a question?
Trey, when you look back at the time that you were here and just how this system and Coach Beilein obviously prepared you for the NBA, what was your major takeaway of just your decision to come here, 2 years here, but then getting to the NBA in this system?
I think trust was the biggest thing. Trust both ways. The biggest thing, Coach Beilein really trusted, my skill set and what I could bring to this team from day one. When he came to see me in high school, from the AAU trips, his gravitation towards my skill set, as well as the assistant coaches with Coach Meyer and LeVar and those guys, it just made sense. And for me, being able to play for such a legendary coach, I'll never forget that. I still want to play for him to this day. We always have those conversations still. We was talking about it coming up here just now, just talking about playing for each other again, if that presents itself. But, I'll always remember that.
At the time, did you think there would be that many NBA players on that roster, even if down to Karras was just a role player for you guys?
I think when you in it, you don't really recognize, how great you have something. So for me, not really at the time, but now looking back on it, we did have a lot of talent on that team, and I don't think we took that for granted.
For both of you guys, when you think of the 2013 season, I mentioned you think of all the wins and stuff. How much do you think about the last game and the way it ended, or is that overshadowed by all the accomplishments?
I don't think people will remind me all the time about a lot of things, including the block and
The following.
but yeah, I think that it was a journey. The whole year was a journey, and all of a sudden, we were in the championship game, and I'm saying, how did this happen? So I don't, because we lost. Unfortunately, I think about losses way too much, and I don't enjoy the wins. But that one, because of the way it all happened and the way it was a team, as Trey said, from our guys that never appeared in games, Corey and Josh and Esso, that weren't on scholarship, to all the way to our Player of the Year Wooden Award winner. They were all the same. They were all part of this thing.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think too much about it, really. That Louisville game. I did take a picture when I was out in Kansas City earlier in this year. At the College Hall of Fame, they have pictures of every championship game, and I did take a picture where it said vacated on the year for 2013.
I think you probably think of it more, Trey.
I'm sorry?
You think of that last game more, maybe?
Yeah, I think of it, obviously. It's a dream come true that you feel like ended, right at the moment, at the championship moment. So for me, it's something I always think about. But at the same time, I think about the great memories too, making it to the Final Four, getting to that game. I still believe I am a champion. I still believe we are champions, honestly. In my heart, that's how I feel. So though we lost that game, you know, it was great memories, for sure.
You talk about the great memories, the shot against Kansas. Now that this much time has happened, have you ever had another moment like that, I guess, in your life? And just what is that? What happened in the immediate aftermath of just everything that meant to you?
That was fast. That was fast. Just the whole process, even after the shot, everything happened fast. You know, a lot of things just started speeding up in my life. But I think, you know, going back when those were just hours and hours of preparation. Being a kid, having a wild imagination, dreaming of those moments, and getting to a game where, you know, you're losing the whole game, you're personally not playing well. And, you know, when you are having such a great individual season, you try to figure out how to not make it about you because you want to win, you know what I mean? And you can easily make it about you if you could start out, you know, on a slow note, and I kind of did. So I tried to figure out how to do other things to, you know, help my team win. And we look up and we're down 10 points with 2 minutes left. Or, yeah, it was like a minute and a half, 2 minutes left. And I remember thinking, like, I can either lose hope now or just keep figuring it out step by step. You know, we made one play after another. And I remember being at the free throw line, and it was a one and one. And I think Elijah Johnson was at the free throw line. I'm just, you know, guys know, I talk about God, just a man of faith, and I'm like, there is a God. You know, if he misses this shot, I remember just thinking, like, if you give me this miss, then, you know, it'd just be like a Christmas present. You know what I mean? And if that ball rolled off, it wasn't time to think. It was no more thinking. You know, I knew that was just a sign to go and be a big, you know, be a big playmaker for my team. And, you know, just that whole journey, I think that moment signifies a lot about this team, and just, you know, having a will to find a way to win always.
For both of you, I guess, how much credit do you take looking back for kind of reigniting the program? I mean, went to the national championship again in 2018. They won the Big Ten a couple years ago.
Man, I think it started before we got here, honestly. You know, those guys right before we came, Zach Novak, Stu Douglas, you know, Darius and those guys, that spirit that they instilled in us when we first got here. They didn't play around. Those are specifically Zach and Stu, they did not play around. They really had a great culture already set here all along before we got here that probably had not been showcased yet. And we came in and just followed along, and I think all our skill sets individually just made this thing blossom. But
I think we all just flowing in, right?
We got one more chair there. We got one more chair. Yeah, right.
How's everybody doing today? All right? We got a big one today, don't we? Good.
Coach, for you, having been removed from college basketball and in the NBA, have you had a chance to really look back and reflect on, you know, kind of like you were saying, Trey, just how special you had it in runs like 2013?
Thanks to, not just 13, but everything, thanks to Twitter, where people will send me these highlights of these games, and it's like, what? It seems like I'm so into the game, I missed the atmosphere. You're so into making, you know, just making the next decision. You sort of miss the fun parts of the game. You're working. And so I get to do it often when a tweet comes across my way about, you know, a particular game that one of these guys played or any of the good teams played. And it makes me sad sometimes. I didn't enjoy it, but I love doing it. And I try to share it with these guys too. Do you remember this game? So that's the neat part of it.
Anybody got anything for players?
Hey, so Trey, have you thought back to when you zigged, when you could have zagged, you almost went to Penn State, you almost left after your freshman year, you thought about the things that made you come to Michigan, stay at Michigan?
No, I haven't really thought about that. The process of me, you know, the process of me decommitting from Penn State and coming to Michigan hasn't really crossed my mind much. I think more so the Penn State situation. The coach that was there when I committed early on, you know, I think he got fired, and it just didn't make sense. staying there. Then when I reopened up, my recruitment process, Michigan was always that fit for me, fit for my type of play. We had great
He just wanted to
recruitment
beat Ohio
classes
State.
coming.
He just
And I wanted to beat Ohio State. That's all. Yeah.
Questions for Tim or Nick? Go ahead.
Trey, there's a lot of big names hanging in the rafters of Chrysler. Rudy Tomjanovich, Cassie Russell, Glenn Rice. What would it mean for you to have your numbers someday put in the rafters of Chrysler?
I didn't mean the world. I mean the world, honestly. That's something you dream about as a kid. I growing up, I loved college basketball. I watched college basketball. I was one of those kids that was running around with a little rubber basketball, dreaming to, make big shots. So just to have something, and to leave your legacy on something like that, as big as that, at such a great university, Michigan, that would be great for me. I would love that.
And Tim and Nick, I saw you guys nodding when he was talking about that. What would it mean to you guys for Trey to be recognized in that fashion?
Well, I think it'd be an honor. He worked his tail off, to get to that point, to help us get to where we need to go through both his years being here. So I know I'll be the first one through that door when the name is called, hopefully. But not only Trey, I think Nick, he left a big, imprint, in his time here at Michigan as well. So I feel like he deserves, some credibility for his names being in the Rafters as well, for what he did for the program and, what he left here. So I think both these guys are candidates for that as well.
I think Tim is as well. He's being very humble.
Yeah, I would just say you could probably count, maybe not even on one hand, the amount of players that have come through this school that have had the impact that Trey had. Especially for me, my freshman year. It's funny, we just came from somewhere where it was me, Spike, Zach Novak, Stu Douglas. We were talking, and we were like, I looked at Spike. I said, "Is Trey the best player you ever played with?" And he just laughed right away. Like it's not even close. Like my freshman year when we came in, it was eye-opening and humbling to see how special of a player Trey was. We used to call him Young AI all the time, and it was. I think you guys all saw it. Just the kind of tough shots he was hitting, the way he handled the ball, the way he carried himself. It was very much in that manner. So, to see his jersey go up in the Rafters one day, that would be very well deserved. And I would definitely love to be there to celebrate that too.
Guys, what are your reflections now? Married, father, just been in the league for a long time. When you go back and you look at 10 years and how you've grown, what's your reflection now in coming back here in this situation?
For me, I was talking to the driver coming here from the airport, and I haven't been here. Last time I've been here was when Coach Beilein was coaching here for his last year. So, just the memories, seeing new buildings, new construction up, seeing what they did to the athletic department, for all the sports here. I was
where we came from.
Yeah, exactly. Intramural practices, it's wild. It's wild what they've done 10 years, since we've been here. So, I was smiling from ear to ear coming from the airport, driving here, and I had to call my pops and tell them yo, they're doing it out here. They're doing their thing. So I was excited. I was happy, and I'm happy to be back for sure.
Yeah, same with me. Like Tim said, just seeing all of the renovations and the new, buildings and stuff like that just brings back all the memories. I remember having hot practices in the intramural building, and having the showers was dirty, and we came a long way. This university did too, and specifically this basketball program, and it's beautiful to see. Definitely always beautiful to come back and see the evolution of it. You see how much it's evolved, and I know Coach Howard is going to continue to keep this thing going in the right direction.
For me, it's nostalgic, you know, being back here, seeing these guys that we don't get to always see very often. You know, it teaches you life is short and time goes by quick. You know, people used to always tell us when we were young at basketball camps, hey, this goes by quick, cherish the moments. And it's one of those times where we're sitting on this end and it's been 10 years now and you're just like, damn, time really flies by. And it's important for us to all cherish those moments because in the moment you don't ever seem to realize how special those times are. And it's these moments together where we can really celebrate and just, you know, reflect on how much fun we had. You know, just those moments that we shared together on the court, off the court, and how special they were. For me, they were life-changing moments. You know, my life was never the same after my 2 years here at Michigan, and I'm forever grateful for that. I'm grateful for Coach Beilein for the opportunity he gave me. I'm grateful to, you know, play alongside some legends like this, and I'm grateful to have put on a Michigan basketball uniform. Like I said, it changed my life for the better. So I appreciate each and every one of you in this room. I appreciate you.
Okay, folks, we're gonna let them get back to the reunion, so we appreciate
I would like
you
to say
taking
one
the-
thing. I would like to say
Oh.
one thing. No, because there's some people that need to be thanked, you know, for us to be in the situation that we were in. You know, like, first of all, I want to thank, I was here before these guys. I want to thank Manny Harris, Sean Sims, you know.
Yeah.
They definitely, I think, you know, helped put Michigan on the map. And then I want to thank Zach and Stu. During my recruiting process, you know, I stayed in touch with Zach and really, you know, grew close with him throughout that whole entire process. And then I want to thank, you know, Lisa.
Yes.
She helps out with everything. She's like the backbone of the program. She does everything behind the doors and make sure everything goes smoothly through the program. Who else we have?
This guy over
CJ.
here,
Oh my
T-
gosh,
T-
Tom,
T-
Tom, Blue, Bob Land. You know, I want to thank those guys. But I really want to thank Esso, Corey Person,
Yes, great teammates.
Matt Vogrich,
Scout team.
Blake McClymans,
Blake, Jay Bart.
Jay Bart. I mean, it's those guys definitely took a back seat in making sure that we flourish in this program. So, I mean, there's a lot of people to thank, but those are and a whole world, John. So I just want to just thank those individuals for making all this possible, making this program go, and getting it to where it is right now. Because without them, none of this would be possible. So.
Speaking of that last group, I found out something. You give somebody some drinks last night and you find out some things, and I don't know if these guys even know this, but I found out for the first time the day before a game. Apparently, I might be a little bit more intense than other days,
great story.
and we had to finish practice. We played this game against the scout team every time, and it was possessions versus points. And if it didn't go well, practice might continue, or something would happen. And I heard about, and they were always the blue team. These guys never did a second on the gold team in their life. And so I just heard last night there was something called LBW. And if they wanted practice to get over on the right way, they would go LBW, LBW. Anybody know what that means?
Let Beilein win.
No,
Let blue win.
Let blue win. Let blue win so we can get the hell out of practice. But that's how good they were. That's how good they were, that they, every day, no one understands the power of a scout team. And it happened again with our 17, 18, 19 teams. Those guys they could run Michigan State's offense, Northwestern's offense as good as they could.
Yeah.
And it made us all great.
Northwestern,
So
yeah.
it was really good.
Definitely
So-
Northwestern, Jesus Christ.
But I found this out. I found this out 10 years later.
Yeah, that's a great time to find out.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.